Hey, hello and welcome. On behalf of the Athletic Hall of Fame Committee, I would like to welcome you to the induction of the College of DuPage Athletic Hall of Fame Class of Fall 2019. My name is Jane Vatchev. I'm the chair of the Athletic Hall of Fame Committee, and I am so happy to be here with you this morning to celebrate our second class of inductees into the Athletic Hall of Fame. 3 years ago, the Athletic Hall of Fame Committee was formed and a mission statement was created. The committee determined 3 categories of recognition: female athlete, male athlete, and coach athletic support staff. The mission statement and the criteria for each of the categories are both included with your program today for you to look over. From there, nominations were obtained by reaching out to current and former coaches, the college community, and the community at large. By the way, future nominations are welcome. So check out our athletic website, gochapsgo.com, for nomination forms and information. We'd love to get more nominations. Finally, this past June, we celebrated our first class of inductees, and today our next 6 legends will be forever connected to the athletic history of our great college. The 6 inductees will be receiving today a glass-inscribed award over here at the table, and a polo shirt with Athletic Hall of Fame monogrammed on it. And we will be putting a plaque on the wall at the PE Athletic Building on our campus with their picture and biography of their athletic achievements. We also have for each of you attending this morning an Athletic Hall of Fame inscribed glass to take home as our thank you for attending the induction ceremony. So please make sure to grab your glass at your table. I would like to thank the efforts, the dedication, and commitment of our Athletic Hall of Fame Committee. So please stand as I read your name. Don Kloss, Matt Foster, Ron Ottoson, Mark Reinhiller, Al Zamsky, Tolis Kaskanaris, and also Earl Reed, who is no longer on the committee because he retired but has served the last 2 years before his retirement to Colorado. So thank the committee, please. We also have the support from the Alumni Foundation's office, and we'd like to thank Ellen Farrow and the Alumni Relations Manager, and Earl Dowling, the Vice President of Institutional Advancement. The committee has amazing support from the College of DuPage administration, including Provost Dr. Mark Curtis Chavez and Assistant Provost for Student Affairs, Dr. Diana Del Rosario. I want to thank the staff at the MAC for the assistance with the ticket sales. And I would like to thank the Interim Athletic Director, Danielle Klein, for her support. Thank you to Paul Smith, our florist, who worked with me to create the floral arrangements and the corsages. And thank you to Lainey Engel, who helped with the setup this morning, and the outstanding staff from the DoubleTree Hilton, Bonnie Buckley, Jolene Taggart, and Emily Molitor. Lastly, I want to thank 3 people that have been instrumental in this ceremony. We have some outstanding professional audio visuals with us today in our celebration. And I would like to thank Kevin Willman and his staff, Joe, Mike, Esther, and Danny, for all their amazing work and talent. Kevin, can you please stand? It's just amazing what he's done. Thank you. We're blessed to have you share your talents, so thank you. I'd also like to thank Beverly Smith, our athletic administrative assistant. Can you stand, Beverly? She has done an amazing job with helping me stay organized and all the setup. Thank you so much. And lastly, my right-hand man in organizing every aspect of the ceremony and this event today. He will be our MC today as well, Mark Reinhiller. So please stand, Mark. I appreciate not only his hard work and effort and his time, but also his great sense of humor. So thank you so much. So now it is my honor and privilege to welcome this morning our president of the College of DuPage. President Caputo has fully supported athletics at the college, and I want to thank him for his ongoing support of the Athletic Hall of Fame. It is an honor that he chooses to be with us today, and I would appreciate a great warm welcome to Dr. Brian Caputo.
Well, good morning. I am pleased to celebrate the rich history of College of DuPage athletics and to welcome the second inaugural class of the College of DuPage Athletic Hall of Fame. For more than 50 years, the college has provided transformative experiences for its students, whether it was winning a Red Grange Bowl, achieving national championship titles, or involving students who achieve a 3.0 or greater GPA in the Football Champions Club. At College of DuPage, we are laser focused on student success, and we encourage all student athletes to leverage their talents both on and off the field in pursuit of their educational goals. Participation in intercollegiate athletics requires dedication, hard work, and time. Student athletes must balance practice, game, and associated travel with the demands of academics, classes, and studying. Many must also work to support themselves. Some have families of their own. And as I often like to say, it seems to me that student athletes are the hardest working students on campus. What started out as an idea to honor student athletes who have gone above and beyond important milestones both personally and professionally has turned into a reality now for the second time. And I'm pleased to be part of this incredible event. The inaugural class, the first class, took their places a few months ago, and I was there to see firsthand the wealth of talent that we cultivated right here at College of DuPage. Today's event is no different for the fall 2019 inductees. This morning, we honor College of DuPage student athletes and coaches and administrators who help bring distinction to the college and the community at large. I want to say a few words about each of the inductees. You'll hear a lot more later, but I can't resist. Ron Ottoson, who built a track and field dynasty during his more than 30 years at COD. His many accomplishments include 93 track and field and cross-country All-Americans and nine individuals to national championships. He's also a member of the NJCAA Hall of Fame. Jason Hyatt, who played on 2 national championship golf teams and won the 1998 NJCAA Division II Individual Championship. He is now in his 17th season as the Chaparrals head golf coach and has coached 5 Region 4 title teams. Mike Bellamy, a 2-sport athlete in football and track and field. A football wide receiver, he helped his team win 18 of 24 games in 2 seasons and was an All-American in his sophomore year. As a track star, he's still the school's record holder in both the 100-meter and as part of the 4x100 relay. Al Zamsky, COD's former swim coach and aquatics director who coached 12 men's and 9 women's state championship teams. He was recognized in 1988 as COD's outstanding faculty member, and the college's aquatics center is named after him. Jamie Walters Eickman, a star volleyball player who helped her team become the first female COD program to win consecutive national championships. She is a 2-time All-American and was the NJCAA Tournament Most Valuable Player in her sophomore year. And Chrissy Vena Sielen, who played a critical role in the Chaps softball program, helping her team win consecutive national championships. She also earned 2 All-American honors and was the NJCAA Tourney MVP as a freshman. We recognize these individuals this morning not only for their examples they set at the college, but also for the legacy that they have left for other students to follow. On behalf of the college, I thank you for attending this morning's breakfast and ceremony, and I congratulate each of the inductees into the college's Athletic Hall of Fame. Thank you.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Fall 2019 Chaparral Hall of Fame ceremony. I am Mark Reinhiller, and since mid-November this past year, I have served as the college's sports information coordinator. More than 50 years of athletics have taken place at COD, and it's been incredibly enjoyable for me uncovering and understanding the vast amount of athletic history that exists here at COD. Our Hall of Fame class of Chaparrals includes 6 remarkable people whose athletic and coaching ability, dedication, and love for COD add to its rich lore of athletic success. From national championship trophies and individual honors to those who use their athletic ability and competed at their sport's highest levels, and also to those who mentored and coached, there is little question that athletics have played a critical role in each one of our Hall of Famers' lives, and to all of us who are here today. We look forward to hearing from Ron, Al, Jamie, Chrissy, Mike, and Jason. And let's begin with the reason why all of us are here gathered this morning.
More than 50 years of athletics have taken place at College of DuPage as the Chaparrals celebrate and honor their second Athletic Hall of Fame class with its induction ceremony this morning. The inductees include 2 two-time All-Americans who helped their teams win consecutive national championships in softball and volleyball, an individual national champion who played on 2 national championship golf teams, a 2-sport athlete who became an All-American and NFL wide receiver, and a pair of storied coaches who helped create a foundation of success with their coaching acumen. This morning, we recognize Chrissy, Vena, Jamie Walters, Mike Bellamy, Jason Hyatt, Ron Ottoson, and Al Zamsky for their individual talents, their contributions to successful championship teams, and their coaching ability that helped build the lasting legacy of athletic success at COD. Athletics have played a prestigious role in the college's reputation and image since COD opened its doors in 1967. The Chaparrals have won 32 national championships in 11 different sports at the junior college level, and for 6 straight years this century, from 2004 to 2009, COD was recognized as the top non-scholarship junior college program, based on success in championship competition across all sports by the National Allegiance of 2-year college athletic administrators. Today's honorees set themselves apart in a multitude of ways with an uncommon amount of success, drive, and dedication. All of them played an indelible role in building the athletic success here at College of DuPage. Congratulations, Chrissy, Jamie, Mike, Jason, Ron, and Al on becoming the newest members of College of DuPage's Athletic Hall of Fame.
Our first honoree this morning spent more than 30 years at the helm of the Chaparrals track and field programs and as a faculty member as well. And over those years, the Chaparrals were a consistent presence on the national level. He coached 93 track and field All-Americans and 3 cross-country All-Americans. That includes Olympian and fellow Hall of Famer Tom Puxtis, who joins us today. Here now is a look at Ron Ottoson.
I'd like to introduce Ron Ottoson to the College of DuPage Athletic Hall of Fame. And Ron is definitely, without a doubt, deserving of this honor. He's one of the true College of DuPage pioneers. He started with the school when it first started. I guess that was back in late 60s sometime. And Ron built a powerhouse junior college track program out of nothing. He started at a brand new school, no track, no indoor track, no outdoor track, and he built it into a junior college powerhouse without the aid of a track, without the aid of scholarships like most other junior colleges had. And every year when the Division I, there was only one division back then in the junior college athletics, and every year, I know the other teams, they always knew College of DuPage was going to bring some athletes. So Ron, again, he started with nothing, and through his influence and his power and his charismatic nature, he was able to recruit kids and coach them up, and he would grab kids out of the hallway with no track experience and turn them into really good track athletes. There was a time when, that was in the 80s, when College of DuPage was the premier track program in the Chicagoland area. We would win several times, won the Chicagoland championships, beating Division I schools like Loyola, Northwestern, DePaul, UIC, Division II schools like Lewis, and all the Division III schools. And that would happen year in and year out back there in the 80s when Ron really had it rolling. So Ron, congratulations. You are definitely deserving of this honor. I coached alongside Ron, but he would coach all the weight men. And when I think of Ron, I think of, here was a guy in like January and February when the weather was just atrocious. You know, it might be raining out, it'd be sloppy, and there would be Ron taking all the weight men outside to teach them the hammer throw. And I remember days having my guys, I would coach the runners, and I was inside, happy to be inside. And then, you know, you'd see Ron come in with his guys, and they'd be all wet and cold and dirty from throwing the hammer throw in the mud. And they didn't have the hammer throw in high school, so Ron would have to teach these kids the basics. All the big guys, he would just take them out there, and he loved it. He didn't mind the cold. He didn't mind. He loved teaching. Ron Ottoson was not just a coach; he was a teacher, and it didn't matter whether a kid had never thrown the hammer before. He was out there teaching them, and coaching them up, and just teaching them all the basics. And it was amazing how many kids he turned from nothing into great track athletes. One name comes to mind is Horacio Garcia, a kid out of West Chicago that Ron grabbed out of the weight room. And I don't think he even participated in track in high school. And Ron saw him in there every day lifting weights and said, this kid's got the dedication, this kid could be good. And Ron turned him into an All-American hammer thrower that got a scholarship to, I believe it was Florida State. He was an All-American there on the Division I level. And Ron did that repeatedly with a lot of kids. College of DuPage track records are better than the vast majority of the NCAA Division I schools from top to bottom. 7.2.5 in the high jump, 4.08 in the mile, 25-foot long jumper. It just goes on with the remarkable athletes that the College of DuPage had, and they were drawn here because of Ron Ottoson. It's an honor for me to be able to sit here and do this and to recognize you, because a lot of people don't follow track and field. Football, basketball are the top sports. They always have been, probably always will, but at the College of DuPage, track and field was definitely a major sport, and that was because of your influence. And everybody around the Chicagoland area, if they knew anything about track, they knew about the College of DuPage because of its track program. Again, the records speak for themselves. So congratulations, Ron, and best of luck.
Ron Ottoson built a track and field powerhouse over his 30-plus year association with the Chaparrals. He served as head coach from 1968 to 1988 and returned in 1994 for 2 seasons. Including his 7 seasons as cross-country coach, he coached 93 track and field and 3 cross-country All-Americans. 9 individuals won national championships under his direction, and 20 of his teams won state outdoor and indoor championships. He totaled 19 State Coach of the Year accolades in both track and field and cross country. He is a member of the NJCAA Hall of Fame, the Illinois Track and Cross Country Coaches Association Hall of Fame, and the Region 4 Hall of Fame. College of DuPage's track and field complex is named in his honor. Please welcome Ron Ottoson to the stage.
You want me to speak after that? My God, wonderful. And thank you, Mike Considine, who put it together. He was my distance coach for 12 years or more. You know, I lost track. And I can't believe half of that, to be pretty honest with you. So you all know Jane. Please, she's responsible for this, and she deserves a lot of credit. Jane, stand up. Oh, boy. Bear with me now, will you please? This table over here is full of my people. And let me introduce them. There's Kay Addison, my wife, and rocks for the whole family. Without her, none of this would be possible. Christine, stand up, will you please, Christine? Come on, stand up. That's my daughter and her husband, John. John, stand up and say. There's my son, Eric Addison. The only one in that group that's a track person. He was a big one at the U of I and 3 times place winner and went to the Nationals for U of I. Who's next there? Oh, Audrey Mahoney. There's a name for you. Audrey Mahoney. Would you stand up and wave? She's my granddaughter. Next, Molly Addison. That's my granddaughter. Stand up, Molly. And Josie, would you stand up, please? She does something I wish I could have done for years. She's on a rowing team at Lane Tech. The rowing team. I love it. That's what I do all summer long. I don't know. All right. That's my family, and I'm very proud of them. The history of this DuPage track team is very interesting. Get your notepads out. We started in 1968 and lasted for 13 years without any facilities whatsoever, nor any place to put our equipment. So I bought a station wagon, all right? This gets funnier. And I would put all the equipment in the station wagon and travel from meet to meet or to practice. And it was generally a different practice every once in a while. We practice at North Central. We practice at Wheaton. We practice at Benedictine. And any place else I could find. We practiced. But we always got our practice in, no matter what the weather, no matter what, we were there. After that, those dates, we had some facilities. We could go back in the old gym. The basketball team couldn't use it from then on, and we got some practice on campus. And then when we got our indoor facility and our outdoor facility, wow, it was wonderful. And it was easier. Now, pardon me. I want to make sure I don't miss anything. When we ran a meet, it would be always in somebody else's facility, But our officials were neighbors of mine, were people that taught at the College of DuPage that were very generous of their time. The only one that we paid was a starter, and he was always in my back pocket. Okay. All the equipment, as I said, was stored in my basement, from the back of the car to the basement, and it was always dry down there. I have to say that. So it was okay from meet to meet. The kids, of course, had to buy their own shoes and so forth, but their spikes. But once again, I worked a deal with the local shoe man, and we did pretty good. So our kids were supplied there without having to pay them because they're expensive. All right? Oh, what else we did at home? All our team parties, at the end of the season, the beginning of the season, and so forth, were in our backyard. We had a huge backyard, and guess who did all the preparing? It was Kay. She did a good job. I want to start mentioning all the great athletes that were in our program, and I'm going to have to refer to our little notepad here. The number one, of course, was Tom Puxtis, Olympiad twice, national record holder for a few years anyway, right, Tom? And he did a heck of a job at the college, and we're proud of him. But other than that, he was a national record holder, by the way. Jim Sukalowski. You know Jim Sukalowski? He was a kid that was a decathlete and a high jumper. And circumstances were that it rained like heck in Texas for the national championship. And he end up third in a decathlon. And he had to run the 1,500, the last event of the last day of the meet. And he had all kinds of blisters and everything else in his feet. I taped him up. Guess what? He went 7, 2 3/4 to win the national championship in the high jump. Can you believe that? I couldn't. When I saw him soar, I said, that jump would have been 7.5. I mean, he was way over it. And he was only 5'10". It was a marvelous. He's going to be, hopefully, in the Hall of Fame one of these days. Mark Rao from Glenbard West. He was, no matter what event I put him in, he'd win. He was an intermediate hurdler. He was a 400 man. He ran a 600. He led the nation when he was at Kansas. He was recruited by Kansas. He held the record for the 600 at Kansas and still holds it. Just a wonderful achievement. By the way, he's living with a family. I mean, he has his own family, and all these guys are retired, I think. Mike Bellamy. You want to meet nice people? Mike Bellamy. When I first met Mike, he was with a buddy. I don't remember who the buddy was, but he walked in and I was busy. So he sat down and asked me about the program and so forth, and we had a great conversation. I says, this kid is going to be something. As it turned out, he was. He is now one of the football coaches at U of I, and so we're going to get some tickets. And he's still a record holder in 100. 10-3, which is really good. Tom Sullivan, who was our first national champion in what event? The hammer. Coach did things with the hammer I think no other coaches did because they didn't want to be around it when it was thrown. He was our first national champion. Mike McInich, our ex-president's son, is another one that has a record in the 400 and went to Georgia Tech, track scholarship, and really did well. And now, what is he? Is he 40? 52. Am I talking about something in the past? Tim O'Grady, a shot put coach and a coach that coached the weights, threw for us for the 2 years, of course, and did well. Placed in a national meet, and he was my weight coach for I'd say 8-9 years for a while. It's wonderful. Horacio Garcia has already been mentioned. He was the university I mentioned was wrong. He was at the University of Arizona, and I think he won that conference. Which is it? SAC or SEC or something? I don't know. All those Western schools, University, UCLA and USC and so forth. He won that conference the second time out. Steve Paraguay. Steve was coaching at one of the Glenbard schools, or could have been, and he was our decathlete, holds our decathlon record, and he was a great addition to this team. Just the way he worked out was tremendous. And then, of course, our first woman came out. Her name was Karen Lachlan out of Wheaton. And she's won the national championship in a 400, and we didn't have a women's team. She was so awesome, but that's all she lasted. And I think from then on, I don't know what she did. It's too bad all those kids aren't here, so we can congratulate them. I just have a couple stories that I want to put out. I received a letter from a young man by the name of Mike Shane. My first high school that I coached at was Austin. I was only there 1 year, and I went to Schurz after that, and then Oak Park, and then finally to College of DuPage. And I was teaching a gym class, and here's this kid. I said, my God, what's he doing not out for track? So I got him out for track. He threw the track. He ran a quarter, ran the hurdles, and ended up coaching and teaching, coaching track and teaching at a small school. Met his wife, married. He's now retiring. Can you believe that? He's retiring, and well, anyway. I called him and I said, what in the world? You send me a letter saying how much you enjoyed something that happened 50 years ago. And he said, that's where I got my emphasis from you, Coach. And I tell you what, it makes me almost cry. Last comment. I'm very proud of my family. That's number one. The greatest athletes I've had made this program. I didn't. They did. They had a desire to succeed. And if you don't have facilities and have to train in a hallway, I didn't mention that. We trained in the third floor hallway before it was finished built. All it was concrete. And we trained there. And we had kids that did well. I'll tell you something. I don't know what, but if you get a chance, get over to the college. I mean, all of you probably have been through the college, but if you haven't been through the college, this place is increased in size. It's beautiful. And at outdoor track, you have to walk on. It's the Ron Addison track. Thank you, and I appreciate being here and being a member of the Hall of Fame. It's wonderful. Thank you.
Another venerable member of the COD family, Al Zamsky, spent 26 years here at the college, both as aquatics director and as a swim coach. A wonderful educator. He was named COD's Outstanding Faculty Award winner in 1988. And 3 years later, the college's aquatics center was named the Albert Zamsky Natatorium. And it would be remiss of me if we did not touch base on his philanthropic work in the immediate area. Al has worked countless hours by helping others learn to swim, and he's been recognized time and again for his efforts. Here now is a look at Al Zamsky.
I consider it an honor to be here to congratulate Al Zamsky and welcome him to the College of DuPage Athletic Hall of Fame. I cannot think of anyone more deserving than Al to be in the Hall of Fame. There is no one, I think, that is more of a legend at the college in the swimming program or in the athletic program than Al is. He came to the college from California in 1967 and started that program from the scratch with no facilities, having to go out and rent facilities all over the district. And he brought that philosophy of community college education to this area. Go out to the community and bring the community to the college. Really he had no choice because we had no facilities, so you had to go out to the community. And Al did a beautiful job of building that program. So I can't think of anyone more worthy of being inducted into the Hall of Fame than Al Zamsky. I'd like to share one personal story about Al that I think is rather humorous. When we first brought in Ralph Miller to be the athletic director, he asked his assistant, what is the worst thing that could happen to the physical education department and the athletic department here at the college? What would be our biggest weakness if something happened? And his assistant told him, and I think truthfully, for Al Zamsky to retire. He is so much a part of what this place is all about that if he retired, we would be in real trouble. First off, he's here from 6 in the morning usually till midnight some nights, and late at night other nights. He has started almost all of the programs dealing with water here, and so it would be a great loss if Al Zamsky retired. Al's role at the college was so critical in developing so many programs. He developed a swimming program. They competed in the state and really won everything in the state every year. They competed in the conference, and they were almost always champions in the conference. And they also competed at the national level, but they had to compete against scholarship schools because at that time there was only one division. Scholarship and non-scholarship competed against each other. And then when they divided into two divisions, in 2001, I believe it was, and then the College of DuPage did win a national championship in the non-scholarship schools. Al taught here from 1967 to 1996. He developed a swimming program, the senior swimming program, a faculty family program on Sundays for swimmers. Scuba, he has many, many scuba graduates all over the area that came through here and learned from Al. In fact, Al told me that he learned scuba and they started promoting it in California when he was out there teaching at a community college, and they had a long bed truck with glass sides and filled it with water and went around the area and showed people what scuba was and how beautiful it could be to use that kind of gear to go down and see what was underneath the water. And Al did a beautiful job of doing that. I can't think of anything really that Al didn't have his hand in here at the college when it came to the pool and water. And a lot of that he had to develop in rental facilities. In fact, he once told me that the philosophy sort of was, if you don't flush it, we'll use it, when trying to find rental facilities around the community. It's an honor for me to be here to introduce him to the Hall of Fame. I can't think of anyone who deserves it more.
Al Zamsky served as College of DuPage's swim coach from 1968 to 1985 and 1989 to 1991, as well as aquatics director from 1968 to 1994. He coached 12 men's and 9 women's state championship teams. He was named COD's Outstanding Faculty Award winner in 1988, and 3 years later, the college's aquatics center was named the Albert Zamsky Natatorium. The NJCAA recognizes Zamsky with its Al Zamsky Non-Scholarship Male Team Award after each championship meet. A 1980 NJCAA Coaches Association Service Award recipient, Zamsky is a member of both the NJCAA and Illinois Swimming Coaches Halls of Fame. Please welcome Al Zamsky to the stage.
Wow. I could just say thank you, Ron, because Ron and I were together for those. He had hammer throwers that never threw hammer. I had swimmers that had never swam. It made for an interesting year. But let me speak just for a moment on the trip to this podium. In 1967, I got a phone call from Dr. Joseph Pelmery. And I was sitting in California, and he asked if I would like to be interviewed for a position in a new college in Illinois called the College of DuPage. Before I knew it, I had a trailer loaded to my car with scuba tanks, kickboards. I was very happy that we didn't have noodles in those days. Those that don't know what noodles are, well. And off we went. So I drove across the United States to the College of DuPage. Ferry Road in Naperville. So I went to Ferry Road in Naperville, and I looked, and I couldn't find the College of DuPage. So there was a beautiful building there. I walked into this very lovely receptionist who said, what do you need? And I said, I'm trying to find the College of DuPage. She said, look across the street. I looked across the street, and all I saw was corn. Because somewhere out in that cornfield, there were 3 trailers. Welcome to the College of DuPage. And as you've heard today, those first 16 years for those of us who were trying to start the program were challenging. On a family level, I have my family in the back, several places back there, and I think my family in many ways reflects the College of DuPage, I would tell you, I take great pride in that Margaret back there, she's looking down, graduated from the College of DuPage. It doesn't sound like much, but when you have 3 kids in diapers and you're trying to get an education, that's a challenge. My son, John, one of the taller people back there, graduated from the College of DuPage. My youngest daughter, she took off for skiing. So I owe the college a great deal. It's always been a dream of mine. You've seen the awards, recognition. You've heard of the National Junior College didn't start off real well. I mean, we only had 1 division in track. We only had 1 division in swimming, which meant that those of us with no room, no board, no tuition, and in most cases no facilities, had to go up against room, board, books, and tuition in Florida. So anytime we could make points, we were very happy. We've come a long ways. I'm standing here looking at this room thinking, if you told me 50 years ago that I would be looking at this room, I would have said, I don't know if we're going to make it this far. But one of the other models we had, I'm looking at Ron because he started to tell a story. I want to finish it. When we finished the A building, which is now the Berg building, he used the top floor for his runners. How do I know that? My office was in the corner, underneath. And there would be times when it looked like a thunderstorm. The worst time is when I had a young recruit and the picture fell off the wall. Make it work. I think that's where most of us were. We had a great gift given to us. I appreciate this honor today. I'm very comfortable with it. The last part of the goals of the committee, if I can find it. I just want to read the last part. Yeah. I won. We were playing a game. All right. Jane, I can't find it, but forget it. Hey, it's in there. My final thought is that I never thought 50 years ago that I would be looking forward to a tour of the College of DuPage. It's hard to believe. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to a young lady who will guide us around, and I'm hoping that she'll give me a big smile and look at me and say, welcome to the College of DuPage. Thank you.
Jamie Walters Eickman excelled on the volleyball court in her 2 seasons with the Chaparrals by becoming a 2-time All-American and playing an instrumental role in COD winning national championships in both seasons. After winning the title her sophomore season, Jamie was named the tournament MVP. She was an award-winning player at nearby Benedictine and then later coached collegiate volleyball at Dominican Aurora and Augustana College. Here now is a look at Jamie Walters Eickman.
Good morning. I'm excited to be here this morning to introduce Jamie Walters as an inductee into our College of DuPage Athletics Hall of Fame. It's an honor for me to do that for Jamie. When Jamie called and let me know that she was going to be inducted and asked me to present her, I was thrilled to be able to do that as her coach and as her mentor. Jamie is the epitome of a Hall of Fame inductee. Jamie came to the college and just grew and flourished as a person and as a player. She represented College of DuPage well, and she still does represent College of DuPage well. Jamie was a true leader, She was our captain for both of her seasons here at the College of DuPage. She was a leader both on the court and off the court. She had a passion for the game. She didn't just like to show up and practice, but Jamie liked to show up and lead. Jamie had superior skills and superior talents, and Jamie was a great person, a great player, and a great student athlete. She was the whole package. Jamie, when we look back at the records, all-time records at the College of DuPage, Jamie is in the top 10 in nearly every statistical category. The categories that Jamie was top 10 in was kills per season, average kills per season, hitting efficiency, digs, average digs per game, service aces, solo blocks, block assists, average blocks per game, and serve reception ratio. And I want to highlight that because Jamie was a middle blocker and a middle hitter, but she's number 2 on the all-time list for serve reception ratio. That is an incredible feat. That's someone who has great defensive skill, great off of serve receive, and that is very unusual in the game of volleyball to have your middle blocker, your middle hitter, playing all the way around on defense and truly being your primary passer for the team. So that is another just accolade that Jamie accomplished because she was a complete player and is a complete player still. Jamie also holds the all-time individual single match record for most digs and most blocks, and that occurred in our national championship game. Jamie was N4C all-conference player both years, N4C all-tournament team player both years, all Region 4 all-tournament team, Region 4 all-region team, and 2-time NJCAA National Tournament all-tournament team member. And in 1999, Jamie was named the most valuable player at the national tournament. I remember when Jamie first came to the College of DuPage to play volleyball. She actually came with her sister and was planning on playing with her sister. Well, things didn't work out, and her sister decided not to play, and I know that was tough for Jamie. At first, Jamie was kind of a quiet player, a quiet person, timid, maybe not real confident. I think she was confident in her skills, but just wasn't showing that strong confidence. And it was just so neat to see Jamie just develop as a player, to develop in her confidence, and to develop into that leadership role. And it didn't take long at all for Jamie. She was comfortable on the volleyball court, and you could see that. She really became a player that other players looked up to. And by her second year, again, she was a captain of the team, and she was really a mentor to those younger players. They looked up to her. She was a role model for them, and they really drew their confidence from Jamie and her confidence. And we had a saying on the team. We had a lot of sayings on the team, and I know players will remember them, and I know Jamie will remember this one. To be early is to be on time is to be late, and to be late is to be irresponsible. And that was Jamie. She was always early. She wasn't on time. She was always early, in the gym early, wanting to stay after early, and that carried over into tournaments, into matches, just into life. Jamie was always early. She wanted to be that leader, and she was for us. Jamie played a critical role in the success of our team. And again, volleyball is such a team sport. Jamie had great individual accomplishments and skills, but put together with a team, she was and we were unstoppable. Jamie led by example. She was a leader by example, mentoring the younger ones. She was an extension of me on the court. She was that coach on the court that kept things cohesive, kept our winning and our losing to a minimum. But above and beyond that, we wouldn't have been where we were without Jamie and the success that she helped to bring to the College of DuPage. I was blessed to have many great seasons of coaching success at College of DuPage, and it couldn't have happened without great players and great assistant coaches and great support staff. As I look back, those 2 years were so special when we won back-to-back national championships, and Jamie was a part of both of those years. And when I look at what significant impact did College of DuPage have on Jamie, I reached out to Jamie for some insights in that. And the first thing that Jamie said was, it's about team. It's not about a single player or a single individual, but it's about a team. And these are Jamie's exact words. She said, being part of College of DuPage volleyball program taught me desire, persistence, and intentional focus to achieve goals. And that just shows you the type of person, not just player, but the type of person that Jamie was and that Jamie is. She learned to never give up. She learned to persist. She learned to set goals and go after them and attain those goals. She stayed the course with that with volleyball. Jamie stayed the course with that in her professional endeavors and in her personal endeavors. And I truly believe that was because of the impact that the College of DuPage had, and specifically College of DuPage volleyball had, to help Jamie just develop into the person that she is today. And I'm just so blessed and happy and honored to have been a part of that.
Jamie Walters was a focal point on the court by starring in her 2 seasons of Chaparrals volleyball. The Bloomingdale native helped her program become the first female COD program to win consecutive national championships, both under NJCAA Hall of Fame coach Luann Zimick. The 2-time All-American was the NJCAA Tourney Most Valuable Player her sophomore season. She completed her collegiate career at nearby Benedictine University, becoming one of only 4 to have 1,000 career digs and kills in Eagles history. She later coached at Dominican University, Aurora University, and Augustana College. Please welcome Jamie Walters Eickman to the stage.
What an emotional opportunity this is. I am not a public speaker, or today I am, and we'll get into that, huh? I just want to say thank you. I am incredibly humbled by this nomination and the award. Quite frankly, a bit overwhelmed with joy when I got the call from Jane. I was crying like a little baby. I was just so overwhelmed, and it was just like, really? And I shared it with my mom and my sister, but I didn't even share it with my in-laws because I was like, this isn't right. Like, me? Like, I don't think so. And then not until the press release went out did I actually share it with others. So, yeah, because I was like, oh, it is true. So when I started thinking about what to talk about, for I think originally it was supposed to be about 8 minutes, and then we received an email and it said 5 minutes. Which I was thankful for. I started asking some friends about some advice, and most of them said, be yourself. And I said, well, honestly, if I'm going to be myself in front of a large crowd giving a speech, then I would usually be shaking, jumbling my words around, and everyone would just be uncomfortable. Well, today I'm going to choose to be more than me. Today I'm going to choose to be a chaparral. Have you ever heard of the saying that it takes a little more to be a chaparral? Each day for 2 years, we practiced with these t-shirts. College of DuPage on front because that's who we represent. And understanding that it takes a little bit more. Wow, can you just imagine that? Seeing this saying each day, knowing that in order to be a part of Coach Zimick's program, we had to be more and we had to do more. It was awesome, it was inspiring, and something I've never been a part of before. Now, back in June of 1998, I had no idea what I was getting into, and honestly, I do not remember what was said at the first official team meeting. But what I do remember is that the coaches meant business. I was a little scared. That if I wanted to be a part of something special, that I better jump on board now. I was excited for the focus of the program. And although I had no clue what success looked like, all I wanted to do was play volleyball and be a part of the team. Over the course of the 2 years, I was fortunate enough to compete for College of DuPage. I learned what success was. I learned what being a teammate was all about. The coaches taught us about respect, determination, drive, focus, tenacity, and most importantly, how to work selflessly. Not only did we see and learn about this type of work ethic from our coaches, Luann Zimick, Coach Mitchell, and John Pangan, but also from the College of DuPage athletic staff, top down from having an amazing athletic director and Dr. Ralph Miller, to athletic training staff Mike Bell and Julie Sveck, Coach Scott Keller in the weight room, to Pam and Danielle in the equipment room and clothing, Lisa in the athletic office, and Levi, our bus driver for nationals both years. Talk about an amazing platform for success. Everyone was working together to achieve more and to be more. Even the parents jumped on board our bandwagon, and they traveled everywhere they could with us. The parents made it known that DuPage was in the gym, and you better watch out. The foundation that Coach Zimick set for the program didn't just start with us, though. The foundation started in 1989 when she first started at COD. And because of her hard work and dedication to the college and the volleyball program, I am here now. Coach, you work tirelessly, and not just with recruiting, but all aspects of life. And thank you for that. Thank you. I also want to thank Coach Mitchell. You were the rock of our program. I believe that you helped create a culture of endurance and no excuses. And thank you for helping me academically, as well with classes and the direction. And thank you, John Pangan. Not only did you let us shave your head after winning, I think it was our first regional, or maybe it was conference, I don't really remember, but we shaved your head. But you worked with us whenever we asked. You helped me become a more efficient hitter and a player. Mike Bell, thank you. I know he's not here today, but he was my athletic trainer, and I say my athletic trainer because I worked many of hours with him on rehab, on therapy, and you know, his crazy mustache always made me laugh. He just had the little curl. I don't know if anybody remembered that. So thank you, Dr. Ralph Miller. Thank you for believing in us and always cheering us on. Having you in the stands and having you there watching us meant so much more than I think you could ever imagine. We'll start with Pam and Danielle. I just want to thank you. Where are you, Danielle? There you are. Thank you for always having our practice apparel and uniforms ready and equipment room orderly. Now that's no small feat. And most colleges, especially 2 years, do not have this luxury. I believe this is one of the many areas where it takes a little more to be a chaparral. Coach Scott Keller worked with us in the weight room. I was not a very strong athlete at first, but working with him, he brought me to another level. And Lisa, who is in the athletic department, her support and the Lucky Charms cereal that she brought on our national trips, that helped us in more ways than she could probably even remember. And Tolis, thank you. Thank you for nominating me for this award and for believing in me. I also want to make sure that I say thank you to all of my teammates. Without them, I truly wouldn't be here standing in front of you today. They sacrificed just as much as I did, and they pushed me to be a better person, a stronger volleyball player, and I never for 1 minute wanted to let them down. I believe all of them felt the same way. Teammates alphabetically from last name, this is for both years: Sean Brady, Jen Cliff, Rose Cuevo, Kathleen DeBray, Colleen Dooley, Susie Hamilton, Tina Lesneski, Valerie Ludwig, Lisa Martinez, Sarah McCabe, Marcel Merchat, Maureen Monahan, Malika Moses, Melissa Novak, Beth Rooks, Meredith Russell, Joanna Terciano, Stephanie Woldarshek, and Danielle Vaughn. And thank you to my parents. You have been through it all with me, from multiple knee surgeries to face paint. And thank you to my husband, Kyle, who's in the back with Elsie and Kenneth. Thank you for always believing in me. I love you. And thank you to my in-laws, Roger and Sherry. Thank you for coming up here to celebrate with us. And lastly, there's so many other outstanding volleyball players that have played before me and also with me that deserve this award. And I thank you guys, the staff, for choosing me to represent the College of DuPage volleyball program this fall, as it marks our 20th anniversary since winning our second national title. It does take a little more to be a Chaparral. Thank you.
Excellence sums up Chrissy's, Vena, Sielen's 2 seasons as a star pitcher for the Chap softball program. As a freshman, she was named the NJCAA Tournament Most Outstanding Player, helping the Chaps to the 2000 title. And a year later, the Chaps repeated as national champion as Chrissy completed her career as a 2-time All-American. Here now is a look at Chrissy Vena.
Hi, good morning. It is my pleasure to introduce Chrissy Vena into the College of DuPage Athletic Hall of Fame. I'm here to tell you why I believe she is so worthy of this honor. Her achievements on the field at COD are definitely something to be noted, but I think it's important to also talk about what got her to collegiate softball and her achievements and accomplishments from travel ball with the Glendale Heights Sidekicks, as well as her achievements with Glenbard North and Carroll Stream. She'll probably kill me for saying this, but I think of her as Carroll Stream's hometown hero. Everybody in Carroll Stream knows Chrissy Vena. So I think those experiences, her travel ball and her experiences at Glenbard North definitely prepared her for dominating the collegiate softball. Chrissy was one of our ace pitchers for COD softball. She dominated on the mound and was a great leader as our team captain. A personal story about Chrissy Vena that always makes me laugh is when I found out that she'd be coming to COD, I wasn't that thrilled because, again, if you paid attention to fast pitch softball in the 90s in the DuPage area, you knew who Chrissy Vena was. And as a pitcher, I was nervous about how that would affect my playing time. As we became teammates and were kind of cast aside like you are as pitchers and catchers to go work on your pitching skills, we developed not only a friendship on the field, but became friends off the field. And now 20 years later, I get to present at her College of DuPage Hall of Fame induction. Chrissy led our team to the national tournament in 2000 and 2001, in which we were national champs back-to-back. She also received the MVP award in 2000. In 2000 and 2001, she was All-American, and we were also inducted to the National Junior College Athletic Association Hall of Fame as a team. The significance that College of DuPage played in Chrissy's life was providing another opportunity for her. After high school, she was recruited to play at Wisconsin Parkside, and when things didn't work out, she returned home to the DuPage County area, where she, decided to enroll in her local community college. It provided her another opportunity to continue her education as well as play the game that she loved so much and continue to pitch and dominate on the mound. She also knew, playing for Coach Deb DiMatteo, she would be playing for somebody that was very knowledgeable of the sport and could take the team to a national tournament and see it all the way through to a national title. Chrissy is worthy of the Hall of Fame because she's an outstanding pitcher. She's someone that is my age, that I grew up idolizing. I would read articles in the paper about her travel softball career, her high school softball career. She's so exciting to watch on the mound. She doesn't have the physique of a typical pitcher. She's very small in stature, which I think threw off her competitors. I think they underestimated her, and that was always something really fun to watch her dominate against these teams that thought she wasn't going to bring anything to the table. She throws the ball hard. She makes it move. And as a fellow pitcher, I really learned a lot from her, and she's a lot of fun to watch. Chrissy, I loved being your teammate because I always knew that when I was with you, you would make me laugh. And when it was time to get to work, you were very serious, and you were able to help me be a better pitcher, a better teammate, and a better leader on the field.
Chrissy Vena played a critical role as a right-hander for the Chaps softball program. The Glendale Heights native earned a pair of All-American honors and helped her teams win consecutive national championships in 2000 and 2001 under NJCAA Hall of Fame coach Deb DiMatteo. As a freshman, she was named the NJCAA Tourney MVP after earning 3 wins and a save for the Chaps title team. Then, as a sophomore, she helped her team to a 43-9 overall record and win another NJCAA title while earning her second All-Tourney honor. Please welcome Chrissy Vena Sielen to the stage.
Thank you to the College of DuPage Athletic Board and to Deb DiMatteo for nominating me. It's an honor to have this opportunity to stand before you as an inductee of the 2019 College of DuPage Athletic Hall of Fame. I'm also excited to share this experience with my family, friends, teammates, and coaches. I'm truly humbled to be in this year's class with such talented athletes and coaches. Humbling, and to be perfectly honest with you, extremely surprising. I haven't played competitive sports in 18 years, and as a mother of 3 kids who just got her youngest out of diapers, it's a good day when you go without a meltdown. And as a mother, you forget sometimes everything that made you the you before parenthood. So to get this call was special and made me think back to everything and everyone who played a part in the athlete I was and the person I am today. It's hard to believe that a dream that started out when I was a little girl would take me on this amazing journey. I was born and raised in Glendale Heights. My parents, Robert and Julie Vena, worked so hard to give my brother and I the best life that they could. I knew from an early age that I wanted to follow in my brother's footsteps. He was an amazing baseball player who worked relentlessly every day to be better. My love for softball really developed in junior high, where I was a small second baseman. One game, our pitcher got hurt, and I begged my coach, Mr. Shout, to let me pitch. He did, and I was terrible. I even think I threw a ball over the backstop. But I never felt such excitement before. I was hooked and begged my parents to get me pitching lessons. I came back the following year dominating on the mound, and we took third in state in 1993. I went on to play at Glenbar North High School with most of my teammates from Glenside. We took third in state in 1996, but came up short in 97 and 98. The summer before college, I was picked on an all-star team to travel Europe. I had the opportunity to play with some of the best players from all over the state of Illinois. We beat the Holland Olympic team 1-0 in extra innings. This was an experience of a lifetime. Before I knew it, I was off to college. I got a scholarship to Wisconsin Parkside, which I was ecstatic about, but for the first time, I'd be away from my parents and my teammates. After a semester, I wasn't really happy at school or playing softball, and I knew I had to come home. On the bright side, I learned a lot about myself during this time, and it's where I met my future husband, Brandon. Wisconsin Parkside was a huge turning point in my life because I wasn't sure if I'd ever play softball again. I knew a couple players on the COD team, so I decided to try out. Thank God I did. I knew from the first practice that we had something special. Coach Deb was extremely knowledgeable about the game, and her leadership cultivated our championships. The 2 years I spent at COD were very special because of our team. They're so talented and a lot of fun. I had an amazing pitcher to work with, Lisa Morton. During games, she'd help me analyze batters, call pitches, and she corrected my form. She became a crucial part of my success, and she became a best friend off the field. My teammates also made me a better pitcher by constantly challenging me to improve. They all had a remarkable talent and passion for softball. College of DuPage gave me back the love of the game that I thought I lost, but most importantly, it gave me friends that I've continued to count on through life's ups and downs. Megan and Lisa, the memories we made at COD will last a lifetime. I can't thank you enough for that. I would like to acknowledge some people who were instrumental in my career. Coach Shout, I can't even begin to tell you how much of an impact you've had in my life. Besides teaching me the fundamentals of the game and the skills necessary to obtain individual and career records, you also taught me the meaning of hard work and dedication. I cherish my time playing for you. To my brother Brian, thank you for being a wonderful role model and always pushing me to be the best athlete I could be. Thank you for all of our childhood competition. It drove me to work hard. Speaking of competition, Brian, I just want to finally put something to rest. You won 4 state championships. I won 2 college championships, but only one of us got inducted into the Hall of Fame. I win. Honestly, you've been such a loyal and supporting figure in my entire life. I can't thank you enough. I appreciate it. Without my parents realizing my potential, believing in me, and giving me their unconditional love, support, and encouragement, I would not be standing up here today. I can't recall a game where they weren't in the stands cheering me on. You couldn't miss them because my mom was ringing a cowbell. Thank you, Mom, for not bringing that here today. My mother came to the U.S. not speaking English. She learned English on her own and had a successful daycare business. Her drive to succeed and never to quit is something I always admired. Thank you for always pushing me to do better. You gave me a sense of pride, strength, and confidence, which I've carried throughout life. Dad, thanks for sitting on the bucket all those years catching me. Hours upon hours you'd sit there and you wouldn't complain until that time I knocked you off. You always instilled in me the work ethic that was so vital to my success on and off the field. Thank you for all that you have sacrificed. I know there was a lot. And thank you for always believing in me. To my best friend, Shirley, she never got to watch me play softball, but thank you for listening to all my Al Bundy stories over the years. You've become a sister to me in my adult life. To my husband, Brandon, I can't begin to cover it all. Thank you for inspiring me in so many ways. Thank you for supporting me. You've always encouraged me to be a better person, to never give up, and to pursue my dreams. In the end, you became the best teammate of them all. To my children, Tyler, Eliana, and Bennett, I think he's hiding under the table, I'm so proud to be your mom. Thank you for being my biggest fans. I want to give you the values and lessons I've learned along the way. Be a team player, believe in yourself, and you can do anything that you put your mind to as long as you work hard, so dream big. The game of softball has taught me so much. It gave me confidence to have outside success and has been connected to almost every lesson that I've learned in life. Thank you again for this incredible honor and privilege. It's a moment that I will always reflect on with great pride. Being a part of COD's softball program has had a significant influence in my life. I will always cherish the memories and lifetime lifelong friends that I've made during these years. So thank you so much. I really appreciate this honor.
An All-American wide receiver and the reigning COD 100-meter record holder, Mike Bellamy remains among the top all-time Chaparrals. After leading a successful career at COD, he earned All-American honors at Illinois and played in the National Football League, beginning with the Philadelphia Eagles in 1990. And thanks to Illinois' bye week, we're pleased to have Mike with us today as he coaches wide receivers at his alma mater. Here is a look at Mike Bellamy.
Well, Mike Bellamy, congratulations on being inducted into the COD Hall of Fame. It's an honor well-deserved by you. I think one of the things that makes you special and worthy of this type of award is what you not only brought to the community and what you did on the field, but also what you did off the field. Being a great teammate in all of your sports, I think, is one of the things that's important. But to be a Hall of Famer, you have to be special. You have to be able to have done something that very few other people have even accomplished or even dared to do, and you were able to do that. And that's one of the things that really makes you a special person, because like I always say, there are two types of people. They're the givers and the takers, and you're a giver, and by you being bestowed this great honor on you, I think that's one of the things that you really deserve, being a Hall of Famer. Congratulations. This is the part when I'm supposed to tell a personal story, Mike, but since we are roommates going back to college, we have the roommate clause. So there are very few stories that I can tell. But to me, this is one of the stories that I can tell that really kind of shows just who you are and the giver that you are. You were drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles, but you didn't want to go to Philly right away. You wanted to share that opportunity with your teammates and your classmates at the University of Illinois. So you didn't go right away. So you had gone to class because class was important, getting that degree was important to you, and I was still back at the apartment and got a telephone call from a very angry Buddy Ryan that you weren't on a plane already in Philadelphia. He told me a couple of choice words that I was supposed to repeat to you, but he told me, hey, you, Howard, you better go find Mike wherever he is on campus and tell him he needs to get his you-know-what on a plane and out to Philly. But the reason I think that was really an important story is that you really wanted to share. But like you would always say, hey, I got to get my education. I want to be here. And you finally got out to Philly, but it was on your own terms. One of the things that stood out to me when we were teammates at University of Illinois, and I'm sure the same thing happened when you were at COD, you wanted to work and you wanted to be the best and you wanted to contribute to your teammates, but not just being the best player on the team, but trying to be the best teammate. You really wanted to bring us all up. I remember our scout team football practice we used to have when we were red-shirted, and our scout team was pretty good, but you kind of set the tempo for us. You would take guys deep. We had a quarterback named Jeff George, and you guys really started to get a rapport with quarterback receiver, but you made things so hard on our secondary at that time. I learned, and others on that team learned that were on the scout team, that we've got to work as hard as we want to. I know everybody wants to play on Saturdays, but we provided a very important role for our team that went out and played, and that was getting them prepared, giving them the best look we possibly could give them, or giving them a better look than they would see on Saturday. And I know that's one of the things you did here. I know you were a big star and all, but still, you were a hard worker no matter whether you were on the first team or whether you were on the scout team, and that ultimately is one of the reasons you're being inducted. Mike, I know your entire family is very proud of this accomplishment. Your parents who are unable to be with us today to see you get this induction are really proud of it. I know it's a little heartbreaking that they're not here, but know that you did a great job and you really lived up to all of their expectations. Congratulations once again.
A top-notch two-sport athlete, Mike Bellamy helped coach Bob McDougall's teams win 18 of 22 football games in 2 seasons at his wide receiver position, and he enjoyed an All-American season as a sophomore. On the track, he remains COD's school record holder in the 100 meters at 10.36 seconds, and as a member of the 4x100 relay. He completed his collegiate career at the University of Illinois, where he was a second-team All-American and a first-team All-Big Ten receiver in 1989. Bellamy was a second-round selection by the Philadelphia Eagles in the 1990 NFL Draft. He also played for the Indianapolis Colts, Chicago Bears, and Oakland Raiders. Currently, he's the wide receivers coach at Illinois. Please welcome Mike Bellamy to the stage.
Now, Mike, we understand that your family could not attend today. They're at a wedding in D.C., but we got a little surprise for you, big guy.
Hi there, Team Bellamy here.
Unfortunately, we could not be there physically, but just know that we are there in spirit to cheer on your induction to the College of DuPage Hall of Fame.
We are so very proud of you today and every day.
Proud of you as a man, a husband, a father, a coach, and a mentor to so many. Congratulations, Mike Bellamy.
We love you.
All right, I'm supposed to be the one that's not gonna cry today, right? So we're gonna try to handle this the best way possible. But how great is this right now? You know, for my fellow inductees, this is pretty special, you know, and I appreciate everything that has been done. I appreciate everything that's been said, everything that's been written, even though a lot of them are over-the-top stories that probably one day I'll say, yeah, I did score 15 touchdowns against Ohio State in that one game. But trust me, you know, the things that my family and friends have said, I'm glad that they came from the heart, and I'm glad that honestly I'm here today in front of you all. But this is what dreams are made of. And the thing about it is, like Coach said, how do you get from 1969 to standing at this podium talking in front of people about your accomplishments and what people thought of you? And who am I to tell anybody not to dream? You know, I didn't know the stories of Coach Audison and his, you know, trailer and holding the stuff in the basement and all that stuff. I knew he was a great man who helped me accomplish my goals. But at the same time, who am I to tell anybody not to dream? I'm a kid from the south side of Chicago. I grew up in New York, and in my high school career, I won 3 football games. And at the same time, I was the 3rd wide receiver picked in the NFL draft. So who am I to tell anybody not to dream? And one of the things that, you know, became prevalent is that after I had a successful high school career, which I kind of got bribed into running track my high school senior year, you know, because it was important to the high school track coach, who was that vice principal, is also the principal. There was something to it for me running track, I'll tell you that. You know, so I ran track, and I had a great high school career my senior year. And for me, I didn't understand the equivalency of commitment, the equivalency of being a good teammate, and the equivalency of being a good person until those 2 years, my senior year in high school. But I'll always carry those memories of failure today with me. I'll always carry those memories of teammates I had in high school. And I went to a high school game on Friday and saw my high school alma mater team play on Thursday, And I told the kids a story about 2 offensive linemen that were playing with me. And at the 3rd quarter of the game, they got off the field and walked into the stands and sat there with their equipment on and quit on me. And I never understood why. And I told myself this, and I was telling Coach McDougal earlier, that the reason why I would never get into coaching was because I don't deal with mediocrity or complacency too well. And I don't deal with it with my kids. And my son will walk in the door right now, he'll take his hat off because he's inside of a building. And those are the things that became prevalent to me in my teaching. And that's when I realized that this might be something I wanted to do. But again, if you have never failed, you'll never be able to succeed. So I've seen failure, but I've seen success. I've been at the top and I've been at the bottom. You know, but that's part of my story. That's my journey, and that's why I'm here today, because I've seen failure and I've seen success. And one of the things I've done is that, you know, my first year at College of DuPage, when we failed, I was going to make sure that we weren't going to fail again, so we saw success. When I got to the College of DuPage and saw Coach Addison, I'll never forget this, and I'm jumping around right now just because every time I keep looking at him, I keep remembering the first meeting. And I was projected to win the national championship in the 60-meter, and I was hanging out with my friends and hanging out with a couple. My roommate was a basketball player, and we were playing basketball, and it was like 9 o'clock at night, and I stepped on somebody's foot and sprained my ankle. And the phone call I couldn't make was to him, because it wasn't about him, it was about me for him. And so that was the challenge I had, to share a disappointment that I was about to bestow on somebody from information that I might not be able to accomplish a goal that he had for me. So that's the biggest thing, I go about. So thank God for me being here today. Without him, without my support, I want to thank, the great College of DuPage of yesterday, because all the history that I've just learned from these coaches about the yesterday of College of DuPage, and to be able to be out there yesterday and talk to the team and see all the changes is unbelievable. To see the things that have been done, the football fields named after the coaches, the track facilities named after coaches. I just want a brick somewhere that has my name on it. It's just somewhere. But again, I'll always carry those memories with me. Thank the Jane and the Athletic Hall of Fame committee for having me here. I think it was phenomenal experience. They keep on thanking me, but I got the trophy. They just got all the work to do. So I thank them for that. Thanks for Coach Foster for keeping me abreast of everything that's going on. I think it's very important, the hard work that they kept on telling me, well, can you make it? You have a bye week, and if we would have played, if this was next week, I might have missed a game next week to be here, because it was that important to me. I'll always carry the memories with me. To the fellow recipients, Coach Addison, Jamie, Chrissy, Jason, and Al, I was speaking to Jamie outside, and she asked when I went to school here, and I said, 86 to 88, and she said, you went here in the glory days. And to me, you couldn't have told me back then that College of DuPage was not part of the Big Ten. You couldn't have told me that, because when we competed in the track meets against Purdue and Indiana and Illinois, and I don't say compete, when we beat them, you couldn't tell me that we weren't part of the Big Ten. And when we played football, and the first year I walked into the locker room, you got guys who were talking to Ohio State. My sophomore year, we had 14 guys get Division I scholarships. So I'm playing against guys who I played with, and that's what this college is about. So the history about that. Back in the days, of course, I had no idea what was going on here, because I never heard of College of DuPage. I was South Side of Chicago, so there were certain areas I didn't go, and I didn't come to the suburbs because I was from the South Side of Chicago. So I didn't know about College of DuPage. I thank my wife and family. My wife, we've been together for 22 years. A lot of the stuff that's happening to me now, she had no idea. She knew I was a former football player, and she thought everything I said was a lie. So, but now all of a sudden, all the fame and the acknowledgement I'm getting, they're benefiting from it. This was a choice that we had to make, and my sister-in-law is getting married, so it was like, who was going to be the sacrificial lamb and not have their support there? But that's a surprise, so, kudos to them. I'll never walk alone, so I'm not alone. My family is always with me. My memories are always with me. My kids, Mikey, McCoy, and McKenna, they're the reasons I roll forward, and I'm going to give them memories to remember. I'm going to give them history, and they'll know this, and I've been videotaping everybody, and they'll get it. My daughter asked me to FaceTime her while I was speaking, and I didn't know how I was going to do it, so I hope I get the video and see if she figured this out. To my Bellamy family who watched me play stickball in the streets of the Bronx, to today where they come to my games and watch me coach, they're my support. To my father who proved to me that sports plays no favorite. My Pee Wee League, well, not my Pee Wee, my Little League baseball game, championship game when I was living in Cincinnati, we were pretty good, and my father just happened to be the umpire at that game. And so, as the story goes, I was pretty good at baseball, and I was running around, and here I come third base, and I slide in, and I promise you I was safe. There was no doubt. And there's my father standing there, and he has the nerve to put his thumb up and call me out. Now, my mother didn't talk to him for about 2 weeks. But 2 weeks later, I did find out from my grandmother that my grandfather called my father out in his Little League baseball game when he was young but they called him out on strike, so at least I swung the bat, is what I tell everybody. You know, so yeah, and like Howard said, my father had passed when I was 26 years old during my professional career. My mom, who passed 2 months, well, my mom who passed in March last year from cancer. The last time we spoke, she was battling cancer, and she said to me, "Mikey, I'm proud of you." And that was tough for me because that was probably the most time I spent with my mother in about 25 years. And she came to stay with me in Ohio for 3 months, and I watched her fight cancer. And the last words she said to me is, "I'm proud of you." So I know I'm doing okay, you know, and that was one of the big things. She was the one who dropped me off to Coach Addison, and I came in there with Pete Austin, and I'm going to go into that story. But those are the things that my mother did. She made sure that who she dropped me off with was going to take care of me. So I carry those memories with me. To my college DuPage roommates, Ed Anderson, Walter Glass, and the late Ronnie Westmoreland, Coach Class, I know some stories about you because I had 2 basketball players as my roommates. So, you know, I respect everything you do. And it was not your fault that I sprained my ankle, but it was on your basketball court, so I'll let you know that. You know, and Ronnie Westmoreland he was my best friend from Indianapolis, and he taught me it was fun, you know, it was okay to have fun dreaming. You know, he was a kid from Indianapolis, and he was smiling all the time, and he was at every one of my track meets, and he was excited for my success more than for his success. He went to Illinois State, and I remember when after I got drafted, I was living in Chicago, and I was sitting there, and I got a phone call from one of my roommates from Illinois and told me Ronnie had got shot. And that just like blew my world because I had just finished talking to him, and I was just supposed to see him. You know, so he was the one who showed me the good things about being a good teammate and a good friend. To my track teammates, Mike Wright, Tom, you know, it's unbelievable. You know, Mike, you know, it's unbelievable the people that you meet through these sports and athletic opportunities. To my football teammates, Gene Benhart, Tommy Minnick, and there's a few names, and just in case the video gets out and I don't mention the names, you know, I thought about you, you know, and I'm gonna say the tape got cut off and they told me to cut it, so I forgot your name. Ron and Jay Clark, Steve Caney, Jerry Blue. When I came into Coach McDougal's office, you know, he didn't know what position I was going to play, and then he threw me over there with the receivers, and Jerry Blue and Steve Caney accepted me, even though I was competition. And I talk to Steve Caney to this day. It's the relationships that you build, and a lot of times it's it's hard to be happy for somebody and not envious them at the same time. But those guys were, you know, genuinely happy for me. Buck Small, George Hawthorne, Frank Hittle, Jerry Gerbic, who calls me about Michigan all the time, and I tell him, don't talk to me about Michigan. I'm an Illinois guy, but you know that he still talks to me about Michigan. Jay Schmidt, Ron Selvage, Ron Foskis, Jimmy Will, Darrell Simmons, Al Ellis, Kramer, and I guess this is what you're supposed to do at awards, mention everybody's name, so that's what I'm doing. Coach Funston, Coach Gary Campana called me. He was my first wide receiver coach, so he'll probably tell the story that he taught me how to play wide receiver, because I never played wide receiver until I got to DuPage. And so he'll tell you that he was my wide receiver coach who made me who I am. So I'll give him that credit, and it's on video, so he's won that. So Coach Campana, I appreciate everything you've done. Coach Roman, who was our defense coordinator, phenomenal man. I played in the World League over in Germany one year, and he was over there, and he came to see me. And that's what it's about. And to me, you are the people you surround yourself with. And that had to be learned from, you know, Coach McDougal, because, you know, they were guys. And, you know, so he came over there to check on me, make sure I was okay. Coach Addison. Okay. All right, here I go. All right. You might have been more excited for me than I was for you that you think. But when I came into your office and I saw the excitement, because, you know, I was a big track star, and I just finished track, and I could see it, and you were like trying to figure how we're going to work this out. But you put your arm around me and you nurtured me and taught me to be the track guy that I was. But I think more than that, you taught me to be a great person. And so when you came down and, you know, your son's a former Illini or a fellow Illini of mine, there was no problem of me sitting down and spending a tailgate with you for an hour. That's what family does. So understand that. This is not what I have to do. This is what I get to do. And I got to spend time with you. So I appreciate that. And so it had nothing to do with, well, let me go sit over there and do some political. No, that's what family does. And so I appreciate everything you've done. I appreciate you didn't tell me how mad you were that I sprayed my ankle, and you made sure I was icing it, and and we were down there and all that stuff. But I appreciate everything you've done. So the tailgate was a part of who we are. And yes, you can get tickets whenever you want. So don't worry about that. Coming out of high school, like I said, I only won 3 games, and I wasn't smart enough to make sure that academics was important. So the challenge of me getting a full education, academic education from Illinois was my mistake. And so when I talked to the coach, my mother drove me from Southside to Glen Ellen, and we tried to find a college of DuPage. I couldn't find it. It was somewhere around here, so we ended up finding it. And remember, I won 3 games. Coach Addison took me into the office to see Coach McDougal. He knew who I was, but he didn't. And I'll never forget it. He had no clue who I was. And when I walked over to the office, Coach Addison walked me in there, introduced me. I think Coach Roman was in there, and I remember walking back out, and I could hear Coach McDougal say, "Who is this skinny kid, and what are we going to do with him?" I remember that. And do you think he can help us? And my thing is I thank you for taking a chance. I thank you. I thank you for keeping me away from Coach Roman, because I think it worked out right, okay? You called me when I committed to Illinois, and you congratulated me, even though you were a Michigan State guy. Even though that every day for 3 weeks, and I don't think we can get in trouble for this now, but every day there was a guy from Michigan State there, every day. And they talked to me and called me because they felt that I would fit Michigan State. But at that time, I was an Illinois guy, and I was going to stay to my commitment. And the thing that you committed to me was that you would always be there. When I committed to Illinois, you was there, you called me. When I signed with the Philadelphia Eagles, you called me. When I got inducted to the National Junior College Hall of Fame, you called me. When I got the job at Illinois coaching, remember, I think I called you first, and I told you I was going to get into coaching, and you said, "Are you sure?" And when you said that, I was like, there's got to be something to this. And you said, "Are you sure?" And you said, "Make sure you're sure." And I'm sure. And the thing that I'm sure about is that I appreciate everything that you've done. When I took the job, you told me to come meet you for lunch. And I sat there, and you told me everything that I needed to do to make sure Illinois is back where Illinois needs to be. And I appreciate that, because that was for me. It wasn't for Illinois, and I understood that. I picked your brain about everything. Then you called me in February. In these conversations, you would talk 45 minutes, I would listen for 10. I would talk for 10. And I did a good job listening, correct? So, but now, then you called me the other day and congratulated me on this honor, and I talked for 45 minutes, and you talked for 10. So I learned very well from you. So the thing about it is that I'm thankful of all these memories from these 2 great men. I had a great opportunity to talk to the team yesterday, and I'll tell you what I told them. Just like I said, I don't walk alone. I walk with the memories of what I've learned from Coach Addison, from Coach McDougal, from my teammates, from the College of DuPage, from Coach Class, and everybody that's ever walked my path. I carry them with me. My wife and kids are not here, but I carry them with me. My mother and father are not here, but I carry them with me. And I told the team yesterday, carry me with you. Carry me, whatever you do, because I'm always going to be a chaparral. You can't take that away from me. Carry me with you, and I'll carry you with me. When I go out recruiting, whatever school I've been at in the last 10 years, the first 2 schools I call to ask them if they got players are Kenwood Academy and College of DuPage, hands down. And I always do that because I know there's going to be special people coming through those doors. So one of the things I told those players is never let anyone who can't control your success, and never let anybody who can't control your happiness control your happiness. This is what you get to do. This ain't what you got to do. And one of the things I want to say is thank you very much. I thank you for all this appreciation and all this acknowledgement. Thank you to the College of DuPage. Thank you for my fellow recipients. Thank you for the men in my life that has made a difference. And thank you again for this honor. I appreciate everything you've done. Thank you.
our sixth and final recipient, it's safe to say that Jason Hyatt bleeds green. Another individual who helped the Shaps win consecutive national championships. Jason became the first and only Shap golfer to win an individual national championship in 1998. Considered to be the best golfer in school history. Yeah, you shake your head, but you are. Now in his 17th season as the Shaps head coach, his teams have won 5 Region 4 titles and are enjoying a very successful season here in 2019. And I might add, they're going to take on Madison in a dual meet over at Cantigny tomorrow, weather permitting, right, Jason? Join me now as we take a look at Jason Hyatt.
It's my honor to introduce to you today Jason Hyatt, who is an inductee into the College of DuPage Hall of Fame. Jason was a 2-time member of our golf team here at College of DuPage, 2 years which they won the National Junior College Championships. And on top of that, he was individually the champion for the National Junior College Athletic Association Division III Golf Championships in 1998. Let me tell you a quick personal story about Jason. The year after we won our first national championship, Jason was finishing up at Naperville North High School, and he and his mother came in to see me in the spring because he was prepared to come to College of DuPage the next year. Jason was an average golfer at that time, and I wasn't sure that he was actually good enough to make our team, but I was encouraged by his interest and his enthusiasm for golf. Later, we had tryouts the coming fall, and at the end of the tryouts, Jason was the 11th player, and I had planned on keeping 10 players on the team. So I had a hard decision. But the last day, he actually had a pretty good score, and I thought about the things that he had that were strong attributes, like his dependability and his work ethic, and I decided to keep him along and have him make the team that year. And as it turned out, in the long run, it was a great thing because he turned out to be one of the best golfers that we ever had. So Jason's role on the team was critical. His first year was critical in the sense that the players on the team got to see his work ethic and see how hard he worked. He was probably 10th or 11th on the depth chart, but came every day to practice, worked hard, was serious about getting better, did everything within his power to become a better player, and gradually worked his way up the ladder and improved gradually throughout his freshman year. I think by the end of his freshman year, he might have been the 6th or 7th man on our team. We took our top 5 to nationals, but Jason had improved tremendously. And I knew his sophomore year he was going to come into his own and do real well because that continued improvement was going to show up by his sophomore year, and he'd be playing in the top 5 and have the opportunity to maybe even be a medalist occasionally. And it turned out that he did that. His sophomore year, he got better and eventually was the #1 man on the team. And as you have heard earlier, eventually at the national championships, he was medalist and won the national championships as an individual, as well as leading his team to a 3rd national championship. So the significance of College of DuPage in Jason's life, I think, could be described by the fact that he came here for his 2-year degree and saw that through. Strong academic performer here at College of DuPage as well as athletic performer. And then went to a 4-year school. I believe he went to Iowa State, finished up and got his 4-year degree, and came back and is in the golf business working at Cantigny Golf Club, and had the opportunity to take over as head golf coach a few years back. In fact, it's been a number of years now, and jumped at that opportunity. I think he felt a strong kinship with the college and worked that into his work schedule over at Cantigny Golf Club, and has continued to be our head golf coach and has done a fabulous job molding young men in the likeness that he had, hardworking and serious about their academics, serious about playing good golf, being a good competitor, going through the steps that are needed to get better. These are all traits that Jason had when he was playing here and also exhibits as a coach in coaching young men here. So to conclude, based on Jason's contributions to our team in 1996 through 1998 and the 2 national championships that we earned as a team, and also based on his individual accomplishments at the national championships as individual medalist. I believe this qualifies Jason to be in the College of DuPage Hall of Fame.
Jason Hyatt played on 2 national championship golf teams for Coach Eric Hauenstein in 1997 and Lou Solarte in 1998, capped by winning the 1998 NJCAA Division III Individual Championship. The Naperville native was the 1998 National Player of the Year, in addition to earning 2 All-N4C and 1 All-Region 4 honor. Now in his 17th season as the Chaparrals head coach, Hyatt has coached 5 Region 4 title teams. 7 of the Chaps' all-time 30 regional championships have come with Hyatt's involvement, either as a player or a coach. Please welcome to the stage, Jason Hyatt.
I'm real passionate about like the game of golf, and I get real I get emotional. First of all, Eric, thanks for the introduction. You're really the one that brought DuPage golf to the forefront and gave it the reputation it is today. Thank you to the Hall of Fame committee for this tremendous honor, and to the College of DuPage, as a coach, to the College of DuPage for all the support you give it to athletics, and in respect to giving the athletes an experience in an environment that I hope none of them forget. Thank you to all my friends, family. I'll say Bill and Mike for always pointing out the obvious. Pete's been my caddy for now, how many years? 5 years now. It makes it easier on the golf course. I still play and compete, and it just makes it a lot easier with you out there. I'm also fighting a little bit of a cold, so that doesn't help. Now I'm gonna get in trouble for this, but Gretchen, my wife, I don't think you knew what you were getting into when we started dating, and how much golf that you would get to learn over the years. But thank you for allowing me to continue my passion, not only for my own golf game and the time that it takes and the practice that it takes, but to help others as well. I've been doing it, I've been a professional since 2003, and I've probably given thousands of lessons, and it does take up a lot of time, especially April through October. You guys don't get to see me too much, so to my girls, Audrey and Nora, me standing here today should show you with hard work and dedication that you can accomplish anything. Nothing's given, but everything can be earned. Mom and Dad, thank you for allowing Matt, Melissa, and I the opportunity to pursue and experience the interests that we have had so far. From the different jobs and moves away, San Diego and Fort Myers to be exact, to helping with our growing families. And I would like to say that we could do it on our own, but your support's been priceless over the years. Thank you. At a school like DuPage, having 2 coaches over 2 years can, some say could be difficult, especially with the golf season being so short. But I count myself lucky. Eric Hauenstein was my freshman year coach, and Lou Solarte was my sophomore year. You two were the best for DuPage. And now in my 17th year, I am constantly trying to keep up the legacy that you guys started.
Eric, coming in as a freshman and really having to work for my spot on the team, gave me the confidence that I could help contribute to the team. Our spots were always fluctuating on the team due to the competition and the talent. You kept us on our toes, and because of that, it was evident when it mattered when we brought back-to-back national championships home. Eric, thank you. Even though Lou couldn't be here today, some say taking over a team that won back-to-back national championships would be pretty easy with the talent we had, but not with the characters on our team. Ralph, you might remember some of that. He definitely had his hands full. But I do have to say Lou was the guy for the job. His knowledge of the game and how to work with individuals was evident, and his laid-back approach on how to work things through on the golf course allowed us to discover our own games, which is why we took the nation by storm and won our third national championship. Now, golf, you know, if you can win by one shot, that's good. 2 shots, great. We won by 61 shots over 4 days. That can really show the talent that we had on our team. Lou's approach with me, as I will explain in a second, is why I'm standing here today. He allowed me to and convinced me to make my own decisions. And I've taken that experience through my whole life. Thank you, Lou. Now, you know, Jane and Mark have both mentioned it, and when Jane had the honor of informing me in person in the athletic offices that I had been nominated, I was surprised and honored. And she had mentioned that I'm the best golfer in COD history. Now, yes, I'm the first one to win a national championship. And I emphasize the first. I won't be the last. But I can tell you this, that we've had over 30 NJCAA All-Americans, some multiple. And I won't be the only golfer standing before you. I was a product of being a part of the team that completely dominated in the late 90s, and without the competition and dedication and improving from all of us, I wouldn't be standing here today. Luann, you know, the volleyball comments about being early, being late, you know, I always felt if practice was at 1 and we got there at 12:30, you were the last one there, and a lot of the times if practice ended at 3 and you were the first to leave. You know, we were always there, or if we were done at practice, we'd be going playing golf somewhere else. That's the luxury of golf for sure. But in winning an individual national championship, I had to come from, not a lot of people know, I had to come from 7 shots down in the last round. After playing well on the front 9, I had started to feel the pressure, and not knowing where I stood in the tournament at that point, we had a long rain delay. Now, we got lucky. My parents were with. The whole golf team, except for myself, my parents, and my group, we got put in a volunteer fire station. And we had about an hour and a half rain delay, and with about 15 minutes before we were getting ready to go, they came and told us we got to go, so I got to start swinging again. Well, the rest of my team was with all the other groups in a sort of small little maintenance shack, so I found that it was meant to be. This time on the rain delay gave me a chance to compose and relax, and I was able to birdie the 2 holes coming out of the delay. And with 4 holes left, Lou came up to me with this big smile on his face. The individual that I was going up against had already finished, and he didn't want me to tell me what he had shot, but I really needed to know. And he had shot 81. With me being 2 under par at the time meant I had a 4-shot lead with 4 holes to go. I had made up 11 shots in 14 holes. I proceeded to lose shots on the next 3 holes, coming up to the last hole, and this is where Lou's laid-back style comes into play. I didn't know what I needed to do, and I was real nervous. He said, just looked at me with a smiley grin, and those who know Lou know what that looks like. He just said, hit it down the middle. Well, that's easier said than done with what was before me. But I was able to get the ball down the fairway in 2 shots and on the green for birdie. 2 putts to win. Now, being someone who's a little more of a conservative golfer, 2 putts should be easy. But for some reason, I decided I wanted to try to make the putt, and I knocked it by about 4 or 5 feet or so. not so much easy anymore. I was able to make the putt to secure the victory, and to this day I still remember that putt going in and the relief that followed. It had a huge impact on my life and how it sort of defined my role in golf, my path in golf. Now onto the coaching part. Each year, it's been 17 years, and each year I try to have a discussion with my team about how to take nothing in life for granted. You know, they always ask, you know, how we did and how our team was and stuff like that, and the dedication that we had and the practice that we put in, but this year was more about not to take nothing in life for granted and cherish the time that they have to compete as a team and be with each other. This brings me to my friend, a friend from high school who has a 10-year-old named Kylan. And I've gotten to know him over the last few years from junior lessons at Cantini. And about 4 weeks or so ago, Kylan had his 4th open heart surgery of his short life. He is unable to play on many, if any, athletic teams due to his condition. And having this discussion with the golf team, with his mom and the golf team about an awesome idea, the team decided to extend an offer to be for Kylan to be an honorary member, part of our team. This is a special group. They're good. They're talented. They practice like we did, and I see something special. They're excited to meet Kylan tomorrow. And Kylan's excited to be there. And you can tell a lot about a group of guys when they're trying to create a path for themselves, but they're also looking out for others as well. It was their idea to have him be a part of our team. I really and honestly didn't know what I wanted to do after high school, but my time at DuPage really defined my path since then. And I've used this experience to help players and the players on my teams and the students that I teach. And I tell them that your path and experience is what you make of it. Don't let others define or tell you what to do, and DuPage can be a great stepping stone for anyone's future. Thanks a lot for coming out and celebrate with us today, and have a good rest of the day.
Jason, once again, congratulations on your honor. And ladies and gentlemen, let's give our 6 Hall of Famers a final round of applause. And once again, congratulations to Ron, Al, Jamie, Chrissy, Mike, and Jason. And we also want to be able to thank our 6 presenters, too, to be able to take their time and their memories, too, to be able to share their thoughts with people that, that they love and compete and honor today. Before we close for the afternoon, we thank the entire DoubleTree staff for their first-class hospitality. This is our second Hall of Fame class. In no way, shape, or form are they second class. We want to make that perfectly clear. Thank you, Kevin Willman and the entire crew for their outstanding video presentations. As Jane had mentioned earlier, it's not even close to a show without you folks and the hard work that you put together. So, Kevin, it's just an absolute joy to be able to work with you. The College of DuPage is unbelievably fortunate to be able to have a man of your class and knowledge and skill. Thank you. Thank you very much. Our ceremony would not be possible without the efforts of Jane Vatchev, who was instrumental in making our Hall of Fame see its fruition. Jane, I really appreciate the opportunity to work with you and become your friend. Good for you. And on behalf of the Hall of Fame Committee, our honorees and their families and friends, thank you for sharing your time with us on this special occasion. I make mention of the fact that our football team plays tonight at 5 o'clock, and we will have our 6 Hall of Famers honored at halftime with the presentation and welcoming you there. I made a phone call upstairs, and we got a guarantee of no rain, so you need to be there, okay? All righty. Anyway, once again, ladies and gentlemen, please drive home safely, and we'll see you at halftime of our football game this afternoon for continued recognition of our Hall of Famers. Thanks again, and have a great day, everybody.